Welcome back, Visions fans. JB and I here for more of a status update on the podcast this week. More than anything, we got the news release this morning and a couple hints about the road to Worldwide Part 2, uh, or lack thereof, I guess, and then RAF, and obviously a lot of like proposed hype behind Summer Glassy. And we kind of just wanted to pump the brakes a little bit, actually, not actually do the podcast this week.
Yeah, I mean, we are both, I mean, definitely feeling the fatigue a little bit just from the situation. I think a lot of spenders, especially, are definitely kind of throwing their hands up right now with the lack of packs in the stores, lack of, things to buy as we're used to. And, if this is kind of the new normal, it's definitely making things more difficult to actually build up units than we're used to, even on top of like we've talked about, the things that have kind of been gradually going away
Yep.
since third anniversary and even a little bit before that, to be honest. I mean, at this point, I feel like we haven't exactly gotten to the real crunch of things where I mean, they've done it a little bit even kind of before the announcement where they moved things around and,
Right.
kind of moved up some VCs and things. I'm sure, Raf, I think, is coming kind of right where we have anticipated her, and we're not getting Giant Demon this week. So it's kind of, business as usual from that standpoint. I can only hope that, they will have some things in the shop like, we're used to,
Right.
and can actually maybe make some attempts here to get Raf because resources are low for everyone right now.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and then they just obviously announced Summer Glassy, who looks to be a really great unit, quite honestly. And still Melny is coming, who looks to be a really great unit. There's a bunch that Raph's not the end of the story. There's still more to come. Bridal Elia, who is permanent pool, but still like a meta defining unit. And yeah, there's just nothing given us to us so far that really gives us any reason to be hopeful. And so now this week, it just feels like in bad taste to talk about Balo and like laugh about this meme. Like I don't want that. That's like not. I don't really care right now. That's like the last thing I want to talk about or think about. And even Summer Glassy, because obviously there's going to be a bunch of upgrades. I would imagine with the summer units coming out, all the like the 140 resources for them, even, and it just like her vision card looks great. So I don't want to talk about how great this unit is either. At the same time, when we're all trying to kind of like boycotting our own way. I even know today Visipor made a public announcement, even internally and externally. We're going free to play right now. We're not requiring our members to spend or wall or do anything. And there's probably an outflow of people are retiring. I know I've considered dropping out of VIP, and it's still an active discussion that we're having. But like, yeah, it's the road to part two is non-existent. This like permanent shards in the shop when they refresh is not anything at all.
I had a great laugh at that this morning. I mean, it's so whatever. Like, this is not the problem that people are having in terms of building units. Oh, here's a way you can spend more resources. Okay, we get a guaranteed 10 slot in the shop.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. That's, whatever. I'll take that, but that is not the problem really
No.
whatsoever. The problem is Visior. The problem is resources. Problem is, things to build up those units even after the Visior. That is what needs to be addressed, and we don't need to rehash everything. We're both kind of fatigued on the situation. It's a awful situation, to be honest.
Yep.
I have never felt this down on the game. I'm not considering quitting, but definitely, like I said in my video, spending is more or less turned off at this point
Gone.
completely, aside from maybe like dollar purchases or whatever.
Right.
So
No, I'm the
yeah.
same. And the casual plays on the table. There's no reason to try hard and go 120%. And that hasn't affected content creation yet. Like we're still doing our own thing, but to an extent, it is kind of affecting content creation. Like if my investment in the game is going to decrease and people are leaving, there's also a question to be asked: like how does it affect what we do? And I know you've had problems with your future look, and if that's going to still be around. And yeah, like it's they're obviously like pushing for us to get shards, and the Faris drop rate this week is obviously pretty nice for those that pulled it, but for those that didn't, there's not even like a shop in the pack to buy her or to help acquire. And if they don't do the same with Wrath, like great, you give us the shards guaranteed, but if you're not giving us something paid to go after her realistically, it just the whole thing is a mess. I agree.
Well, I mean, even the Ferris bug, like for people who didn't pull her, it's actually worse because Bart's and Lenna shards went down
Right,
uh,
right,
at the
right.
at the cost of Ferris going up. So, people who are still trying to slow build those units, it's kind of a rip for them.
Yeah,
Hopefully, Gumi, I mean, they didn't mention any sort of compensation for that, so I wouldn't hold my breath. But Yeah, it is what it is at this point. Maybe we'll get surprised on Wednesday. I'm not expecting anything at this point the way that the first couple weeks have gone.
No, same. The fact that this second week nothing changed killed any
After the backlash, yeah.
right, killed any copy in my head. The fact that there, and because there is a data mined Faris bundle that we found, it's not in the game. So obviously that's semi-intentional. There's no public announcement about it. And so after that first week hiccup, not even a hiccup, I'm being light honest, but you know what I mean. That first week blunder to not in the second week make up for it. And now here we are going into the third week, and that's the headline of Road to Worldwide Part Two. Like that's the part two. It just yeah.
Yeah, for folks that don't know, like the special packs that include like 5 tickets, pulls, 10 pulls on the bundle or on the banner, plus the 5,000 paid Visior, and it's I forget what it is, like $79 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
But it's like 15K worth of Visior essentially because you get the 5 pulls, and then there's some other goodies in there too.
Right.
But those were data mined for Ferris, for Bart's, for Lena. We always get those in these kind of big collabs.
Yep.
But yeah, I took it the same way that these were intentionally left out. I don't personally buy into that the shop is bugged. Like,
No, not at
it's
all.
what it's whatever. Like, why wouldn't you say that if that was the case?
Right.
They
Absolutely.
mentioned it. They mentioned every other bug, and so
Yep.
yeah.
So that's it. So that's it. That's a status update. Figure give you guys some insight how we're feeling. We are planning though, because we have not hit episode 20 yet, which would have been tonight theoretically. We do
Yeah,
have
this is 19 and a half here.
yeah. We have some ambitions though to work out something for next Monday to do it live. Whether it's strictly a live stream, JB and I'll do that, and we'll have a set time for everyone to join us. I don't know. We're maybe even potentially considering if we want to meet up to try to do that somehow together. Regardless, though, we intend to be live no matter what to kind of either be event sesh or a Q&A or who knows what, whatever the topics bring. But that's kind of the glass half full of what we have for the next week or so.
Yeah, we're still hammering out the details of exactly, but probably next Monday night. Generally, we record these like around 9 o'clock Eastern, so maybe sometime around that. But we'll get the logistics nailed out and updates the community posts, and
Yep.
hopefully you guys can join us. I think it'll be a good time. Just kind of, have some community catharsis here for the situation and pour one out.
Yeah, definitely some
Assuming nothing changes.
group therapy. Yeah. We'll have a whole lot more info to work with at that time too, because that'll be already the first couple days that people pulled for RAF or not, and I'm sure everyone's gonna have their own opinion after that happens. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll understand a bit more about Summer Glassy and maybe even have that news that she's coming next week because that will drop
Right.
next Sunday potentially. So
Yep. Which there's precedent for. They did that for Summer Kilfay. I think it was like the week after we got her after she released in JP. I know the Guild War map has water on it. People think it's for Faris. I don't. I think it's for Summer Glassy personally that they plan on releasing her. But yeah, we'll know more then. So that's it for now. Yeah, we'll sign off as is, and we'll talk soon, everybody.
see you guys there.
Well, have a good night.